Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch Juricich, and welcome to Hooked on the Niners.
And I'm Mark Naismith, and we'll take a look at a very necessary and well-executed win against the St. Louis Rams.
Oh, wow. Jeez. I'm Jerry Walker, and we're going to look at a very necessary and well-oiled machine playing 2 home games.
And I'm Terrell Jones, and I guess we're going to talk about what's going on around the league.
Yeah, we'll do some of that as well.
Too.
Absolutely. And we'll settle the little trivia contest that we were having here before we came on the air, and we'll let you in on it when we come back right here on Hooked on the Niners. What was the question?
Hooked on the Niners is supported by the Kenyon Inn, 650-369-1646, and on the web at www.canyoninn.com. Bach Construction, 650-344-4844, or on the web at www.bachconstruction.com. Lawson's Wildlife Adventures, 650-504-3400. On the web at www.lawsonwildlifeadventures.com. Tisa's Pepper Jelly, 650-787-2357. And on the web at tisaspepperjelly.com. Check out the Peninsula TV studio with over 2,000 square feet of space in the auditorium of the Samtrans building in San Carlos. One studio, many looks. From a simple talk show to an onstage production, from musical performances to business webcasts, PowerPoint presentations, Skype interviews. With our state-of-the-art control room, we're one mouse click away from going live from our studio to the internet or to Peninsula TV. For more information, call 650-637-1936 or use the Contact Us form at pentv.tv.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. We're going to obviously start by talking a little bit about the St. Louis Rams games, but just to remind you, we do have our secret word here, and if any of the guys say the secret word during the course of the show, they'll win some money, and it does have something to do with the NFL. Don't start blurting out secret words now.
This is really exciting, Mitch.
Yeah.
Blackout.
What?
Blackout.
We'll get to that a little bit later, too. All right. Forget the silliness. That really was a big game in St. Louis on Thursday night. They go in there 1-2, and there's no way they can come out 1-3.
Huge. They did something this year that they couldn't do last year.
What's that?
Beat the Rams.
Yeah, right, exactly.
One loss and one tie last year on the record.
Yeah. But what happened to the Rams? I mean, I thought they were better than that.
I thought so too, but I think it starts with their offense.
I mean, not that I care.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I hope they fall off the face of the earth, but I'm just kind of wondering. You know?
But I think it starts with their offense. They have no running game. Their offensive line is not very good, and not giving Bradford enough time.
Right.
But also too, with the way that the Niners play, I call it the Navarro Bowman show.
Ooh.
Navarro stepped up, didn't he?
Oh,
He
big
did.
time.
He did, and
Big
really
time.
had to step up with Patrick Willis out. Right. Had to take a
And Aldon Smith, I think.
And Aldon Smith, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
they had 4 starters out from the defense.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Williams, and then Mr. Kerry Washington was out too.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
Oh, no.
That's the secret word, scandals.
Yep, we'll get to that later.
Oh, goodness.
But anyhow, part of the thing was it kind of seemed, from a couple of thousand miles away, getting back to Frank Gore
exactly
was kind of nice to see.
I think both sides of the ball, that was the traditional recipe for success. Run the ball well and stop the run, and they did both. And they blitzed a little more. They put a little more pressure on Bradford. They really challenged him to run, and they stopped it.
Right.
18 yards rushing, I think, for the Rams. Incredible.
Right.
18 yards rushing. Yeah. I mean, even in our heyday, excuse me, Mark, even in our heyday.
I could do that.
Did the Niners ever hold anybody to less 18 yards rushing?
Well, we'd have to go to the record book.
We'd have to go to the well, you're the archivist. Yeah. You don't have this stuff right
I'll
on.
check that as soon as the show's over.
We'll start next week's show with that. But that's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah.
18 yards. I mean, I always use this example. We could get some folks from. No, we couldn't.
Let's try this one again.
Right. We'll forget that one. But Still seems to be the problem of who the other wide receiver is going to be. And now Patton, I guess while we're taping this, has a broken foot or a fractured foot or something. And I guess Jonathan Baldwin is getting a lot of reps. But we don't know how healthy Vernon Davis is, do we?
No, he looks like he says he's 85%, but I was watching his breaks last night. I say he's a little less than that.
Yeah.
And with hamstrings, they can linger for a little bit longer.
He mixed up jersey number with with
Yeah.
health.
Yeah.
85. Never mind, Mitch.
Yeah, no, I kind of get that.
Well, that's going to be an issue going forward. I mean, Baldwin is a big guy, right? 6'4", and they've always suggested, whoever they are, that he's underperformed, and he caught a few balls last week, and so hopefully they'll throw the ball to him because they need a presence on the other side. And Williams is a slot receiver, not a 2 in this league. So
wouldn't it make sense with a trade deadline to go after somebody? I mean, Cleveland's having a fire sale.
Yeah, Cleveland's having a fire sale, and their guy there, whose name just escapes me.
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon.
He's very good.
How about Kenny Britt at Tennessee?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like 6'3.5", 217 or 218. He's more of a Anquan Bolden than he is a take the top off.
Right.
But doesn't this just kind of prove what we've said for many years? You just can't whiff on your first pick in the draft.
Nope.
You just can't. And A.J. Jenkins, I'm sure they had this was the year that he was going to come to the forefront, and it just shows you how fragile the draft is.
Yes, it is. but it works both ways. You can get some superstars.
Yeah.
Superstars.
Yeah, absolutely. You can.
Actually,
I like that.
John Taylor, third round pick, what a steal. I'd take him in a heartbeat, if he were back.
It's a tough position to draft. I mean, probably way more failures than successes at wide receiver in high draft picks.
And it's hard to
for every
justify it
Andre
being
Johnson
high,
and A.J. Green and Julio Jones, there's a whole list of guys. That
But I think you find the key wide receivers from the second round down.
Right.
I mean,
there's a whole bunch of them.
Right. I mean, look at Terrell Owens.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Well, but then look at, we've told this story here before when it was Eddie Brown, Jerry Rice, and
Art Monk, maybe?
No, it wasn't Monk. It was the guy that went to the New York Jets, and his son played in the league.
Altoon.
Very good. When it was those three guys that were going to go in the first round, and Bill went home apparently the night before the draft with some tapes and called everybody back, I think, pretty early in the morning, and said.
Back then, the draft was early in the morning.
Early in the morning, and said, whatever we got to do to get ahead of Dallas, we're taking Jerry Rice. But those kind of guys, obviously, statement of the obvious. Jerry Rice comes along once in a billion years.
Right.
And I ran into him not too long ago. He looks like he can still play, too. I don't know what he's doing.
Got the biggest hands I've ever seen.
Golf. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's playing golf. Yeah, huge hands. They're lunchboxes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but we got off the subject here. Another facet of the game that I thought was pretty good was the offensive line.
Yes.
Played really, really well. I mean, Yapati had just a horrible game game Indy.
But he swore he'd make up for it. He swore he'd come back.
And he did
a great job. Yeah.
They play with a purpose.
Right. They had a couple of plays where he came around and was looking for somebody, and I thought,
get out of the way.
If I was there and he was looking for me, I'd probably move.
Well, especially if you're a corner coming down, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Let me rethink this. Let me make a business decision here.
Isn't there a lineman here somewhere?
Yeah.
So with the game plan going in, obviously to pound it with Frank Gore, do you see us getting back to that? I mean, it always seemed that our thing was run the ball and stop the run.
I think they tried to stick with that all 4 games this season to pound the ball. But it's like my silent auctions at my fundraising events. Until you get that first bid, you don't have a bid.
Right.
So until you get that running game going, you don't have a running game. And I know that sounds silly, but yeah.
No, and you're right. And I think who else stepped up was Bruce Miller.
Yeah, right. He stepped up nicely.
He had some key blocks, and I think that right there, if you don't have a good fullback who's doing their job, you're not going to have a really good running game.
Plus, he's shown he can catch the ball. So it gives him another little dimension that they can use. And he's a great football player. That was a brilliant draft pick, by the way, given the fact the guy was a defensive player. Also thought Kendall Hunter made a beautiful run in the fourth quarter.
He sure did.
And it looks like he's healthy and back from a tough injury. And LaMichael seems good to go. So their running game seems to be in the best shape it's been. So that's what you got to go with, no question.
Well, you talk about Miller, but now they signed Owen Marisic, who Harbaugh had down at Stanford, who's another Swiss Army knife type guy that could give them another element in the backfield there. So anyhow, to kind of tie a bow around this, good win on the road against a division opponent to get back to 2-2, maybe just a little bit of confidence now. coming into the Houston game. And before we get to the Houston game, when we come back, we'll go around the league a little bit, and we'll take some more guesses on the secret word here when we come back. Hooked on the Niners. Any other guesses?
We
Horseshoe.
should let the viewers call in.
Hooked on the Niners is supported by California Catering, San Mateo, 650-345-4881. On the web at CaliforniaCateringSanMateo.com. California Catering, South San Francisco, 650-589-0729. On the web at www.california-catering-company.com. California Catering, Emerald Hills, 650-369-4200. On the web at www.cacateringcompany.com. Bay 101 Casino, 408-451-8888. On the web at bay101.com.
Hi, I'm Katie Roletto, and I'm a local professional media producer. Thanks to Penn TV's volunteer program, I was able to expand upon my experience and gain some amazing training in the areas of television production right here in the Bay Area. The staff at Penn TV is very skilled and experienced in all aspects of technical production and really helped me learn and grow. If you're interested in finding out more about Penn TV's volunteer program, please visit them at www.penntv.tv and click on the volunteer tab. Thanks, Penn TV.
All right, welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. Just a couple of things to clean up. You had some notes there, and you even highlighted one in yellow.
The most provocative thing,
and forgot to say it.
I'm so wrapped up in all these other
Here's
things.
your chance. What was it that you wanted to say?
We talked about it at the break. It's penalties. It's still an issue, right?
Yeah.
So this is through 4 games, most penalized team in the league. I think 10 more last week. We talked maybe some aren't the ones we'd like, but that flag's going out there. You can't avoid it. You got to stay away from penalties. It's a drive killer in many
That's all
senses,
good stuff,
so.
but what was the important thing you wanted to bring up?
I wanted to guess a secret word.
Is there any concerns, though, about Phil Dawson? He missed a field goal, and then that extra point was like a low-line drive.
No, but the free kick was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it sure was.
When was the last time a free kick was?
Ray Wersching.
In what year?
1903.
1977.
Oh,
Come on,
close.
people.
I was close.
I live pretty close to Ray. I'll relay that message that Mark said 1903. The last one I remember that was successful
Was the Flintstones?
No, I want to say it was the Green Bay Packers. Fair catch against the Bears in Chicago. Paul Hornung puts it down and makes
nobody
the kick.
watching.
Yeah, that had to be in the early 60s or something like that. No, I remember distinctly because my mother was holding the rabbit ears on the TV set so we could see. God rest her soul. Now, show and tell. Jerry, we say this each week. Jerry is the archivist for the San Francisco 49ers and is getting things for the museum.
Secret words in here.
Is it really?
No.
Okay. And so today for show and tell, you brought, well, it looks like a pair of Mizuno football cleats, but what's so special about these?
If you check the dirt,
Yeah.
Joe Robbie Stadium.
Watch out.
Oh.
Those are Joe's shoes, Joe Montana's shoes from Super Bowl 23 in Miami.
Really? Those are his shoes? Wow. And those are going to go in the museum?
Yes, they are.
If you get out of this building alive, they will.
No, it's the golden slipper to see if they fit on your feet.
This actually gets handcuffed to my wrist.
And wasn't there something significant, a story about these? Can you share that?
Well, he wore them during the drive.
Okay.
And MVP of the game?
MVP of the game?
Yeah. I mean, how did they come about? We don't have enough time.
We don't. Okay.
But quickly.
Okay.
So we're in the locker room post game.
Right.
I'm taking Joe from interview to interview. It's in Miami. It's humid. The floor is tile. It's slippery. He keeps slipping on the floor with these on. I said, Joe, get rid of those before you break an ankle or something. I get blamed.
Well, the game's over. We don't care if he snaps an ankle now.
Well, there's another
Sorry,
season coming
Joe.
up.
Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean that.
And so 20, 30 feet away, maybe 25 feet away, Joe takes the shoe off and throws it over people's heads into a trash can next to the equipment room. Just when Bronco Hennick, the equipment manager, walks out, jumps back, what the heck? And then Joe takes the other one, does the same thing, drops it in there. And I said, Bronco, those are mine.
So he threw these from 30 feet away and got them in the garbage can over people's heads.
And didn't hit Bronco.
Now that's accuracy. I think there's a new way to test quarterbacks when they're, at the combine, put about 20 guys there, see if you can throw a shoe over them into a garbage can. That works.
There you
But
go.
they have to be 5'4" or shorter.
Yeah, right,
I don't think
exactly.
Peyton Manning could have done that.
Probably not. Pretty neat stuff. That's kind of indicative of the things that you're going to have down there in that museum, which I can't wait for it to open. And I am sure that there is going to be a private Hooked on the Niners tour, aren't you?
It's got to be.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt.
Okay.
I was thinking 2 or 3 tours.
Yep.
2 or 3 tours.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, well, that means he's probably charging us. So
we
it's
have
3
to
times.
we have to bring him lunch.
Yeah,
That's
we
what it
got to
is.
bring him something, absolutely. All right, let's go around the league a little bit. What strikes you? I mean, how about Peyton Manning, 16 touchdown passes and 0 INTs, and he's finished.
Okay, but here's my question, okay? Peyton, great year so far.
Yeah.
Is he the MVP or is Tom Brady the MVP? With
You know,
with the
that-
cast of
both,
characters that he has.
That is a pretty doggone
about Drew
good
Brees?
question,
That's well
and it came
spoken.
from this side of the table. I would like everyone to note that's.
How about Drew Brees? That's quarterback heaven for the big boys right now.
You know,
haven't lost a
absolutely.
game
The-
throwing passes.
The
from-
old drop back guys,
Peyton's
not the
on-
new
Peyton's on a
studs.
pace for 64
Yeah,
TDs
it's
and no
ridiculous.
interceptions.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Right. Oh, yeah.
No, more than 64.
64.
Yeah.
Well, how many's he got through 4
16.
games?
Yeah,
16.
okay, that'd be 64.
Yeah.
And none. Okay, I got that much of it. No, and didn't he sign, was it 3 years, 90 million?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Now, this is going to come out wrong because Hunter Pence is one of
I
my
knew you were going with
favorite
90 million.
baseball players. I love that guy. You could take a tape, put it into a machine, and tell little kids play like this. That's how you play baseball. I'm not sure you want him in the on-deck circle doing what he does, but that's a different
That's the
story.
kind of teammate you want,
so
too.
it's about the same amount of money for Peyton Manning and Hunter Pence.
yeah.
Just shows you the league's.
Peyton makes a little more on advertising and endorsements.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably does. And I'll tell you this, when he retires, he is going to have the seat right next to Jim Nance at CBS.
Oh, yeah.
The minute he says, I've had enough,
Yeah.
it's goodbye, Phil.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is just that scintillating. Okay, we talked a little bit about New England and New Orleans. What else is kind of surprising? How about the New York Giants, 0-4?
Well, how about
It's
how
nuts.
about New York, Pittsburgh, and Minnesota 1-11?
Minnesota
Excuse
won,
me.
so I'm
That's
happy.
all right.
They won one game.
You know, they beat Pittsburgh, so there we go.
0-4
They had to go
Giants
to
in
England to do it.
Pittsburgh.
Hey,
Yeah,
a
you were
win's
going to say?
a win's a win.
I
Yeah.
was going to say the game that made me sick.
What? Oh,
How?
Houston,
How
Seattle.
could that have
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
Houston, Seattle. We were talking about this beforehand. I realized his protection wasn't good on the play for Schaub, but to just lob that thing out there,
He should have ate it.
yeah, he should have just eaten it. I mean, I think kids in Pop Warner don't throw that
No,
ball,
it was crazy, and
especially to the side he
even
threw
though
it
they
to.
were a little on the ropes. When you have a defense like J.J. Watt is like almost a defensive one.
Yeah.
You've got to let them try to beat you that way. But
Right.
when he let that thing go, I think 80,000 people went like this.
Yeah.
And then they were outside burning his jersey. So not a
Burning
great
his jersey in the
great afternoon for the.
But that's $200 you're wasting. The NFL's like, go ahead, burn more. The sales are going up. We don't care.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think there was alcohol involved. That's
exactly.
just me.
It is Texas.
Yeah,
so
right.
there we go.
Got to make a few comments about Alex Smith, right?
Yep.
Come on.
Halfway to the
4-0.
8 wins that we need
Wow.
in order for our third-round pick to jump up to a 2, which looks like that's going to be pretty much a done deal. But he's just doing what he did here, just getting the ball out to guys.
He's managing very
You know
well.
who it reminds me of a little bit is that other guy who wore 19 with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
He does.
Did he wear those shoes?
Not these shoes.
Not those shoes, no.
But he really seems to have found the right fit without Andy Reid and their offensive coordinator who was with Reid, Doug Peterson. And Philadelphia's the next quarterback. He threw the ball 41 times last week, so they're letting him throw the ball. And
right.
I think it's embracing his confidence a lot more. And he's got 2 pretty good wide receivers, 2 first-round draft picks, Dwayne Bowe and Donnie Avery. So very good running back. They've got a good team.
Yeah,
Great
they do.
defense.
Yeah.
Great defense.
Great defense.
This is a good team.
Yeah.
This is a surprise team in the
For
NFL.
a team that was 2-14 last year, they sent 5 defensive players to the Pro
Right.
It
Bowl
was
last year.
amazing that they had more Pro Bowl players than wins.
Right.
Yeah.
When do you and where do you ever see that?
It's rare.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. They're kind of a fun team to watch. So are we've only got 36. So are the Browns. kind of fun to watch, man.
Browns are kind of fun to watch.
They are a good defensive line.
Well, let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah, well,
Hey, how many wins now?
Well, two.
And how many does Minnesota have?
One. But
I'm going to send the boys to their
we're
corners.
not playing well.
And we'll come back. They might be duking it out right here on Hooked on the Niners. That was a good one, though.
no,
He got you there, man.
Yeah, Jerry's going to headbutt me with that big forehead.
Hooked on the Niners is supported by Parkside Grill, 650-529-9007. On the web at www.parksidegrill.net. Handlery Hotel, 1-800-995-HUSH. The website is www.handlery.com. Poplar Creek Golf Course, 650-522-4653. And on the web at www.poplarcreekgolf.com. Eddie Perez and Company, 650-363-5904. On the web at www.eperezpainting.com. Armstrong Carpet and Linoleum Company, 415-751-2827. On the web at www.armstrongcarpet.com.
What's that? Oh, we're back. Nice. We were just having a good time here.
Back from where?
The guys, they broke up the fight and everything was fine. We were just talking about a draft and how we thought Calais Campbell would be a better pick than Kentwan Balmer.
And we were right.
Sorry to take you down the Kentwan Balmer road. That's for sure there. All right, draft picks or not. I think another big game coming up this week at the Stick. 5:30 started. Did they move that up to...
5:25.
Oh, okay. Somebody told me they heard that it might be moved up to 4, but don't take that from me.
Check your listing.
Yeah, check your local listings. Gonna play the Houston Texans, and might have the most dynamic defensive player in the league in J.J. Watt.
I don't think there's any question about it.
They might still be reeling.
Yeah.
I hope they don't come back to try to prove a point.
Yeah.
Because that's a good team and a great defense.
They got to be so pissed after that.
Oh, yeah.
No, they have to be. I still am.
Yeah.
Mad about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It handed Seattle a victory, and Watt is unbelievable. He's just virtually unblockable.
Yeah.
And he is, if he's not making the tackle, he's precipitating somebody else doing it.
Well,
Brian Cushing playing or not is going to be a big issue. Latest word is he probably will. But they've had a pretty good defense and a very formidable offense. This is a tough game.
Yeah, and I think our DBs are going to have to be on their toes. I mean, Andre Johnson, he's great.
Yeah.
You got Hobson, who's fast.
Very good tight end.
And got two good tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then both their backs can catch too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean,
Schwab may not be lofting any.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He might, no, right.
Gary
he might
Kubek's a little
not.
pissed at that one. Yeah.
Do you think that anybody in Houston can do something to fix J.J. Watt's helmet so he doesn't get the... I mean, that's a gusher that comes out. He's just got blood going everywhere. Why? You would think somebody would look at that one time and say, let me look at this and see if I can send this to research and development.
But I think he likes it.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's sitting there across from an offensive lineman and they see blood gushing and he's just like growling at him. They're like, oh, okay. Wait a minute, this guy's...
You don't see anything wrong with a human being that likes getting cut open and bleeding.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother you at all.
Cut me, Mick. Cut me.
He's a wild man.
Yeah.
Well, what a player. What a player.
You mentioned Cushing playing or not playing. Do we know at this point about Patrick Willis? Is he...
Said yes today. Or
Said
the
yes
report
today?
Yesterday was yes.
Because when you mentioned the two tight ends, it would be nice to have Bowman and Willis back.
Right.
Even though, and I forgot,
Will
Will
Height.
Height played
Very
pretty
good.
well.
Led the team in tackles. I thought he did a great job.
Right. That's going to be an area for those guys in the two safeties.
Right.
With those tight ends, and I kind of think, I almost think they're going to pull the reins in on Schaub a little bit, and concentrate more on short stuff.
I think so too. Because he's throwing a pick in every game now.
Yeah.
For a
He
pick
has.
six.
Yeah.
Four straight pick six.
That's not so good.
Yeah.
That's maybe it's got to be an NFL record.
Yeah.
Huh?
Will we get one? Do you think a pick six?
Yeah.
this
So.
week?
Maybe two.
Maybe two. Okay, we're gonna hold you to that. It'd be interesting to see if they continue with Frank Gore what they did last week and pounding him and seeing more of
Hunter.
Yeah, Kendall Hunter in the game.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be interesting. I think that's the game plan. I mean,
Okay.
I think come stop us. This is what we're going to do.
Right.
Because I think it can be done.
And I think they're going to do a lot of misdirections because they're going to have JJ coming one way, and they may go the other way, or JJ's he always kind of just wanders around.
But you were mentioning that JJ kind of does what
Reggie White
used to do, and that was just kind of stroll the line and find the guy
most vulnerable place,
right.
and attack it from there. But luckily for us, it's a strength. The 49er offensive line. I'm just concerned about who they're going to get more involved in the passing game. I mean, Anquan Bolden's the guy, but I think that people are just going to start to take him away and make you go someplace else. We talked about earlier in the show that Davis, with the hamstring, Vernon Davis, you got to be careful with that.
McDonald's stepping it up a little bit. Every week he seems to be looking better out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see him throw the backs a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think Bruce Miller can catch the ball, and so can Frank Gore. And that was such a pivotal part of this West Coast offense concept, is throwing the backs, and especially when you have a pass rusher like that, getting the guy out of the pocket quickly and getting it out to somebody who can make a play. I think it's important.
Okay. All right.
Oh, jeez.
I think you're going to see a lot more to the backs this week.
I hope so.
I would hope so, because that used to be a staple. With my favorite time in the 49er history was when it was Rathman and Craig, and they sometimes both circled out of the backfield. And I mean, they were just absolutely wonderful at that. I'm sorry that we got away from that.
Well, do you think they'll probably incorporate Michael James just a little bit more, just for the speed factor?
Is he healthy?
As he gets healthier, we'll see more of him.
Is he healthy, though?
He's healthier.
He's healthier. Okay.
In the NFL, is anybody ever healthy?
No.
Right. And you brought up a good point when we were in commercial. Dawson, is he starting to worry anybody? He missed a field goal. He had one extra point that was kind of, could have been kicked by our cameraman. I didn't mean any offense by that. Actually, I did.
I don't worry about him.
No, you don't worry about him?
Well, I do, because that was indoors, and he misses one indoors. And you know how the winds are at Candlestick. So when that starts, and I'm looking
as far from indoors as possible at Candlestick, so that's good. That's good.
All right, we got about a minute left. Give me your thoughts on the Houston game. You don't necessarily have to give it. Well, we'll do this before we.
My thoughts, 24-10.
Okay, no problem handling them. Good game for a few quarters.
2 pick sixes in that 24. No problem handling them.
I think it's be a close game. I think it's a very close game. This is two, I think, pretty evenly matched teams. 49ers at home should have the advantage. Close game. Who makes the least mistakes wins this one, as always.
Okay.
24-21.
24-21, so everyone thinks it's going to be pretty close. I think the 49ers are probably, like 28-7, something like that. 28-10. I think that's.
What did you say last week before?
I said 35-10, and it ended up 35-13.
Wow.
Just for the 35-11. Sorry. Just for the record, tonight's secret word was tuna.
Tuna.
Yeah, a lot of the players in the league like to eat tuna sandwiches.
They do.
So
Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells. There you go. And what do I have every time we go to lunch? The tuna melt.
Yeah, tuna.
All right. So once again, they don't get the secret word. We'll see you next week right here on Hooked on the Niners. Ha ha.
Tommy Tupa.
Tom Tupa from